This reading is based on a horary chart, not Taehyung's natal chart. Horary astrology is a traditional branch of astrology used to answer a specific question by casting a chart for the exact moment the astrologer understands the question with clarity and intention. For today's reading, I felt a strong and intuitive pull to explore the topic of Taehyung's future spouse. So I cast a horary chart on June 30th, based on the exact time and location I was in when the question crystallized in my mind. This horary chart was cast to answer, who is Taehyung's future spouse? What is she like, and where is she now? Are they together? Have they met? If not, what is keeping them apart? In this chart, Taehyung is represented by the ascendant, as he is the querent, or the main person the question is being asked about. The ascendant here falls in Capricorn, making Saturn, located in Aries in the 3rd house, his significator. This placement paints Taehyung as someone who had to mature quickly. Saturn in Aries often reflects a soul that carries early responsibilities or early conditions that may have challenged his youthful spontaneity or confidence. Aries wants to act boldly, but Saturn slows the process, requiring discipline, patience, and resilience. Since Saturn is the natural ruler of work and achievement, we see that Taehyung's sense of self is intricately tied to his career. His life purpose is actively unfolding through his professional path. He defines himself through his efforts, accomplishments, and long-term goals. But there is friction between ambition and insecurity, the struggle for self-assertion, and courage needed for authentic self-expression and communication. Saturn sits at 1 degree Aries, marking the beginning of a new cycle in Taehyung's life. It signals a fresh spark, an ignition of ambition, vision, and the yearning to express himself with courage and authenticity. But this is no easy journey. Saturn in Aries often feels challenged, even disrespected, like it must constantly fight to assert its authority. There's a sense of needing to prove oneself, to claim leadership in a world that doesn't offer easy validation. It can feel like an uphill climb towards self-definition. This placement suggests Taehyung is entering unfamiliar terrain, a chapter where he is actively redefining what self-actualization means, not by following expectations, but by forging his own path with grit, vulnerability, and inner inspiration. Saturn's conjunction with Neptune deepens this phase. This combination points to a man questioning old definitions of power, status, and identity. Neptune dissolves illusions and encourages surrender, making this a potent time of self-refinement. There's a softening, a desire to align his ambition with meaning. He may be emotionally sensitive and psychically attuned right now. Saturn separating from Uranus shows that he's already endured a period of upheaval, possibly unexpected shifts that catalyzed personal growth. Notably, Uranus is at the final degree of Taurus, about to enter Gemini. This shift reflects a transition in his external life, from stability and groundedness to a more unpredictable, fast-paced, and socially dynamic mode. It may also hint at an awakening, a recent internal or external liberation that set him on a new path. With Uranus in the 5th house, closely accompanied by Venus, there are strong indications of a current romantic connection that offers him both excitement and comfort. This pairing points to a relationship that balances emotional steadiness with freedom and creative energy. However, as both Venus and Uranus prepare to enter Gemini, the atmosphere around love and pleasure will begin to change, hinting at evolving dynamics, unexpected turns, or a shift in how he experiences connection and attraction. Saturn is also forming a square to Jupiter and the Sun, a challenging growth phase marked by bold ambitions and relational illumination. The Sun sits just 2 degrees from the 7th house cusp, casting a powerful spotlight on themes of partnership and union, perfectly in tune with the nature of this relationship reading. Its prominent placement suggests that relationship is not only top of mind for Taehyung right now, but also central to his personal growth. This alignment points to a future connection that is likely to be nurturing and expansive. Sun and Jupiter here suggest that the woman represented in this chart, his future spouse, is not only significant, but a central figure in his life. Their bond carries visibility, expansion, and brings a sense of abundance into his life. The 7th house cusp in Cancer makes the moon the significator of his future spouse. The moon placed in Virgo in the 8th house describes a woman who is emotionally intelligent, analytical, private, and possibly engaged in depth work, psychological, spiritual, or financial. The Cancer-Virgo signature blends nurturing instincts with a precise and thoughtful temperament. She's emotionally attuned, but also highly discerning. She may come across as reserved or composed, preferring stability and depth over drama. There's grace, modesty, and careful calculation in how she moves through life. She is deeply sensitive, possibly more than she lets on. She may be someone who does healing work or has been through a dark night of the soul. Emotionally intelligent but cautious, she likely processes love cerebrally before surrendering. Physically, this combination often points to someone with a soft, round, or gentle appearance. She is likely to be shorter, with a soft, curvy build. The trine to Venus enhances her beauty, giving her a pleasant and harmonious features, possibly a beauty mark or dimples along with natural feminine charm. However, the moon's conjunction to the south node introduces complexity to her story. This can suggest that she is entangled in a karmic situation, possibly with emotional baggage from a past relationship or life phase. It may also point to secrecy, omission, or even dishonesty, not out of malice, but possibly stemming from fear, confusion, or unresolved emotional ties. Mars near the moon hints at the presence of another man, possibly a former partner. This woman may be navigating a breakup, living with someone, or entangled in shared resources at the time she meets Taehyung. There may be a lack of full disclosure initially. The trine from the moon south node to Venus, ruler of the fifth house of romance in its own house in the sign of Taurus, and in the house of its joy, reinforces theme romance. She may already be romantically involved when she crosses paths with Taehyung. With Venus about to conjoin Uranus, a surprise or shakeup is imminent. Their meeting may disrupt something already in place, leading to an unexpected pivot in both their lives. Although the moon and Saturn do not currently aspect one another, the moon will enter Libra in less than 24 hours, forming an opposition to Saturn. In horary terms, this represents the moment they truly see one another. The opposition describes two people standing across from one another, aware, drawn, yet unable to merge without effort. This aspect reflects emotional distance or timing delays, longing met with resistance and attraction complicated by boundaries. The moon in Libra seeks emotional harmony, while Saturn in Aries guards independence and control. She is open to connect, yet Taehyung appears emotionally unavailable. He is focused on boundaries, solitude, or duty. It suggests that she may be the first to open up or shift toward him, while he may take time to meet her with reciprocity. The moon moves into the 9th house, suggesting that at the time of their meeting, Mrs.Tae is immersed in travel, cultural exploration, or spiritual study. Her world is broad, philosophical, and possibly abroad. She may be building a new identity post-breakup, moving toward freedom and expansion, but still emotionally entangled. Saturn remains in the 3rd house, suggesting Taehyung lives in a world that is much smaller and more insular. Metaphysically, his world is almost dreamlike, with Saturn conjunct Neptune, as though he exists in a surreal, enclosed bubble shared by only a few. They live in different universes, but this contrast is part of the attraction. The moon is adaptable and will make the first move to bridge the gap. Its shift into Libra symbolically shows that she will need to make the greater shift to align with Taehyung. Cancer on the 7th shows a partner who longs for emotional safety, connection, and home. She's likely traditional at heart, drawn to family, nurturing, and creating a private sanctuary in love. Yet the moon south node shows that the past still influences her, perhaps ancestral wounds, family expectations, or loyalty to someone she's outgrown. She is someone who craves belonging but fears vulnerability. Love for her is both a refuge and a risk. Chiron in Aries on the IC reflects a shared story of emotional pain rooted in childhood, family, or a sense of not belonging. For Taehyung, it suggests a deep yearning to build a home that feels safe and real, yet haunted by the fear that true intimacy and belonging may be out of reach. This horary chart doesn't tell a story of ease, but one of soul recognition, karmic timing, and emotional growth. It reveals two individuals walking different paths, shaped by different pasts, converging at a moment of profound transformation. The pull between them is undeniable, but their connection is layered with complexity, healing, and important choices. The T-square involving the moon and Saturn with the sun and Jupiter at the apex near the 7th house cusp highlights a central theme. Deep emotional healing is needed around the heart, family, and the ability to be open to receive love. Both must face and release what blocks them from intimacy before they can truly merge. Their love may begin under pressure, marked by distance, secrecy, or history, but the potential is powerful for authentic partnership, transformative healing, and a connection rooted in trust, dependability, and emotional safety.